Hey coaches, ready for a deep dive? We're unlocking powerful strategies from Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now to boost your coaching impact and build a fulfilling, thriving business.
It's not your typical self-help book, is it?
Absolutely not. It's more about tapping into a deeper level of presence and power, the kind of stuff that can really transform you, not just your business.
And that's exactly what Tolle challenges us to do, isn't it? Become finders, not just guides for others.
Yeah, the finder versus seeker concept. He poses a really thought-provoking question in the book. Why have so few seekers become finders?
It's a call to action for coaches, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Embody the wisdom we're sharing and continue our own journey of awakening.
We can't guide someone to a place we haven't even glimpsed ourselves. It's about walking the walk right alongside our clients.
And one of Tolle's most powerful ideas, one that really resonates with me as a coach, is you are not your mind.
I love that one.
Because so many of our clients, they struggle with these limiting beliefs, negative self-talk.
It's their mind holding them back from their true potential.
Like they're trapped in a mental prison.
Right. A false sense of self that's always feeling insecure, threatened, not good enough.
It's exhausting.
It really is. But the good news is, Tolle offers a brilliant analogy to help us understand the mind's role.
Oh yeah. He compares the mind to a tool. He says it is there to be used for a specific task. And when the task is completed, you lay it down.
It's so simple, but so profound, right?
It is. Reminds us that we can master our minds instead of letting them run the show.
As coaches, we can help guide our clients and ourselves toward this mastery.
Exactly. We've got to find that off button, right?
I do.
Which brings us to the power of the now.
Being present.
Yes. Tolle talks about how obsessed our minds are with problems. He compares it to a dog chewing on a bone.
Oh, I love that.
He says people get caught up in things like crossword puzzles or even, building atom bombs just to give their minds something to gnaw on.
Just to keep it busy. And that's where the now comes in.
Right. It's the key to breaking free from that mental chatter, to experience true spiritual awakening.
I think Tolle's own awakening experience is a powerful example of this, don't you?
Absolutely. He talks about being overwhelmed by this intense fear, like he was being sucked into a void, and then suddenly silence. No thoughts, just pure consciousness.
Powerful stuff. Makes you wonder, how can we as coaches guide our clients to access that place of pure presence?
Because it's in the stillness, in the
Yeah.
heart. Now that true power lies not in dwelling on the past or worrying about the future.
The past and the future, those are just constructs of the mind.
Exactly. It's not that we ignore them completely, but we recognize that the only point where we can truly create change is in this present moment.
I love that. So I'm curious, what's resonating with you most so far about Tolle's approach? What feels most applicable to your work as a coach?
Well, what stands out is his perspective on negativity. He's not saying ignore those feelings, but he's suggesting that they're often rooted in dwelling on the past or future.
It's true. Too much future creates anxiety and too much past.
Guilt, regret, resentment.
The whole shebang.
It's about finding that balance, that centered presence in the now.
Exactly. Now, one thing I find interesting is that Tolle doesn't advocate for a spirituality that's disconnected from the body.
He challenges that traditional view that we should just try to transcend the body, doesn't he?
He does. In fact, he sees the body as a gateway to presence.
He even has that section of the book called, the Sermon on the Body or something like that.
Yeah, he does, where he says, "Do not turn your attention elsewhere in your search for the truth, for it is nowhere else to be found but within your body."
It's powerful.
Yeah.
And such a good reminder for us to bring a mindful, embodied approach to our coaching.
It's true. If we're not present in our own bodies, how can we guide our clients to be?
And Tolle goes even further. He suggests that the body is the key to accessing our essential, our immortal reality.
That's a pretty radical concept, isn't it?
It is. Really
Yeah.
challenges the way we typically think about things.
It does.
Yeah.
So all this talk about presence in the body, it naturally leads us to another important theme in Tolle's work, compassion. He doesn't see compassion as this forced emotion, but as something that arises naturally from a state of deep inner peace and connection to being.
So it's not about trying to be compassionate.
It's about cultivating that connection to our true selves.
Yeah,
Then compassion flows effortlessly.
absolutely. And this is crucial for coaches.
I think so too.
It's about cultivating compassion, not just for our clients, but for ourselves as well.
We can't give what we don't have.
It's so easy as a coach to get caught up in that striving, the pressure to succeed.
Oh yeah, we're always pushing ourselves to the next level.
But if we're not coming from a place of compassion for ourselves, can we truly serve anyone?
Good point. And Tolle makes another important point about compassion too, doesn't he? He says that true connection, genuine relationship, it's only possible when there's an awareness of being.
It's about seeing beyond the screen of personality and connecting with the true essence of the other person.
Absolutely.
Which is exactly what we aim to do as coaches, isn't it? We help clients see through their own screens to connect with their true selves and relate to others from that place of authenticity.
It's about guiding them and ourselves towards a deeper level of being.
Now, I know some listeners might be thinking, surrender. That sounds a bit passive.
Yeah, like giving up.
Right. But Tolle isn't talking about passivity at all.
No, he's framing surrender as aligning with a higher power.
That deeper intelligence within.
It's about letting go of the ego's need to control and allowing things to unfold in their own way.
Trusting the process, right?
Absolutely. And, while still taking inspired action toward our goals.
I love that. It's like this paradox. By surrendering, we actually gain more control.
It's true. So how do you think this applies to coaching? How can we as coaches surrender to the present moment but still take action towards our goals?
Well, Tolle calls this surrendered action work infused with a sense of being. It's about transforming our work into a joyful celebration of life energy.
Work that feels like a celebration. I like the sound of that.
Me too. And speaking of work, let's circle back to those goals we mentioned earlier. Creating real impact as a coach, building a sustainable, fulfilling business. Because when we embody these principles, it changes everything.
It impacts everything from attracting clients to how we communicate our value.
When we're present and authentic, we naturally attract clients who resonate with our energy.
It's not about chasing clients. It's about becoming a magnet.
Right. It's about becoming a magnet for those who are ready for their own transformation.
Imagine you're grounded in now, coming from a place of being rather than doing, you radiate a certain quality. People feel that.
Yeah. It's like a beacon attracting those who are ready to do the work.
It's about attracting clients who are aligned with your values, your energy. It's more than just getting clients in the door.
Exactly. It's about quality over quantity, building those deeper connections. And speaking of connection, how do you think coaches can effectively communicate their value in a world that's so full of quick fixes and gimmicks?
So many coaches I know are brilliant at what they do, but they struggle to articulate that brilliance.
They're amazing, but they don't know how to share their gifts in a way that resonates.
It's a common struggle. But this is where, once again, I think Tolle's concept of surrendered action is so relevant. When you speak and act from that place of presence, of alignment with your true self, your words, they just carry more weight.
They have more depth, more authenticity.
Exactly. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it.
When you're grounded in the two, now your communication becomes more impactful, more persuasive.
Because you're not trying to convince anyone of anything. You're simply sharing your truth.
Your wisdom, your energy.
And that's magnetic.
It is. People can feel that genuine energy, that heart-centered communication.
It's palpable.
It really is. Now, this whole conversation about communication, it brings us to an essential element of a thriving coaching practice, personal growth. It's an ongoing journey, isn't it?
It is. It's about deepening our own awareness, expanding our consciousness, constantly refining our skills.
It's so easy to get caught in the trap of thinking we have it all figured out,
Oh, yeah. Especially when we're the ones guiding others.
But the coaches I admire most, they're the ones who are committed to their own evolution.
They're lifelong learners.
Tolle reminds us that enlightenment, it's not about achieving some fixed state. It's about continually letting go, surrendering to what is.
Embracing the journey, not just the destination.
And that's what makes coaching so beautiful. It's this incredible path of self-discovery, not just for our clients, but for ourselves.
We're all in this together.
Constantly learning and growing.
And when we commit to that growth, we become better equipped to support our clients on their journey.
It's a beautiful cycle.
Yeah.
And one that can have a huge ripple effect.
It impacts not just our individual lives and businesses, but the world around us as well.
Right.
Tolle talks about the end of the world, not as a catastrophic event, but as a shift in consciousness, a move away from the ego and towards a more awakened, interconnected way of being.
And as coaches, we're at the forefront of that shift, helping people tap into their inner wisdom and create lives aligned with their purpose.
We're empowering people to create a more conscious, compassionate world.
Powerful stuff, right? It's easy to get bogged down in the day-to-day of running a coaching business.
Oh, tell me about it.
But it's important to remember that we have a real opportunity to make a difference.
Every interaction with a client, It's a chance to contribute to that global shift in consciousness that Tolle talks about.
It really is. Now, before we move on, I want to talk about a challenge so many coaches face: dealing with negativity.
Both our own and our clients.
Yeah. Tolle offers some really insightful perspectives on this.
Negativity can be a huge energy drain, can it?
It really can. It sabotages our efforts, undermines our confidence, and it can keep us stuck.
Stuck in that negativity spiral.
Been there.
We've all been there. And here's what I find so interesting about Tolle's approach. He doesn't say to deny or suppress those negative feelings.
No, he actually encourages us to face them head on, but with a very specific approach.
I'm curious, what's the Tolle method for tackling negativity?
It's about giving your complete attention to what you're feeling, but without mentally labeling it.
So not trying to analyze it or overthink it.
No, just being present with it.
He uses the analogy of bringing light into darkness. By shining the light of our awareness on the negativity, we can start to transform it.
It's like that saying, what you resist persists.
Right. Tolle encourages us to become intensely alert, to feel the negativity fully, but without getting lost in the story our mind creates around it.
The stories we tell ourselves.
And the more present we become, the less power that negativity has over us.
Makes sense. I think a lot of coaches, myself included, try to fix the negativity, to find solutions or strategies to get rid of it.
We want to solve the problem, right?
But Tolle is saying the solution is awareness itself.
It's not about fighting the negativity, it's about simply observing it.
And this applies to our clients as well, doesn't it?
It does. When we can guide our clients to become more present with their own negativity without judgment or resistance, we give them the power to transform it.
We create a space where healing can happen.
A space of non-judgmental awareness.
And that reminds me of something else Tolle talks about, the importance of genuine connection.
Ah, yes. He emphasizes that true connection is only possible when there's an awareness of being.
Connecting with the essence of the other person.
Beyond the personality, beyond the ego.
That applies to the coach-client relationship too, don't you think?
I think so. When we can connect with our clients from that place of being, we create a foundation of deep trust.
A space where real transformation can happen.
And that brings us back to this idea of creating deep and lasting change.
Right. This framework that Tolle offers, it's about so much more than surface-level solutions.
It's about a fundamental shift in consciousness.
And this isn't just limited to coaching, is it? These principles of presence, awareness, surrender, they can be applied to any area of life.
They're universal principles.
That's what makes Tolle's work so timeless and relevant, I think.
Now let's shift gears a little bit. I want to talk about action. You know, a lot of coaches were very action-oriented, driven to achieve goals, to make things happen.
Right. It's all about getting things done.
But how does that doing mentality fit in with Tolle's philosophy?
Well, that's where things get interesting. Because Tolle isn't advocating for passivity or inaction. In fact, he sees surrender as a pathway to more effective action.
So it's not about doing nothing, it's about doing things differently.
He calls it surrendered action, action that's infused with a sense of being.
What does that look like?
Aligning our actions with our true selves, aligning them with a higher purpose.
He says it's like a joyful celebration of life energy.
Imagine work that feels like a celebration.
I know, it's such a different concept than what we're used to, especially in a world that often views work as, well, work.
A chore, a grind.
Exactly.
But when our actions are aligned with our being, something shifts.
Things start to flow, don't they?
Our work becomes more effortless, more joyful, more impactful.
And isn't that what we all want?
I think so. Work that feels meaningful, fulfilling, aligned with our purpose.
Yeah.
And ultimately, a life that reflects those same qualities.
It's about aligning our actions with our essence, our true selves.
Tolle's giving us a roadmap to creating a life and a career that feels authentically us.
A roadmap for creating a more conscious and compassionate world, too.
It really is a powerful framework. So, curious, how do you see yourself incorporating these ideas into your own coaching? What resonates most with you? What strikes me is how simple yet profound Tolle's ideas are. It's not about learning complicated techniques or strategies. It's about shifting our perspective, our way of being in the world.
Absolutely.
It starts with cultivating more presence in my own life.
Makes sense.
Being more mindful of my thoughts and feelings. Making a conscious effort to connect with the now.
That's a great starting point.
It is. And from that place of presence, I can then guide my clients to have their own experience of presence.
Embodying what you teach.
Exactly. It all comes back to that concept of the coach as a finder, doesn't it?
It does.
We can't guide others toward a destination we haven't glimpsed for ourselves.
That's a powerful reminder. Now, before we move on to even more juicy insights, I want to leave all of you listening with a question to ponder.
I love a good question. Hit me.
Think about the concept of surrender, not as passivity, but as aligning with a higher power, with the intelligence of the universe. How can you, as a coach, surrender to the present moment and allow it to guide your work, your interactions with clients, your entire approach to coaching? It really is a powerful question, isn't it? To just surrender to the flow of life.
Trust that we're exactly where we need to be in this moment.
It can be hard, though, especially for us coaches. We're so driven, always focused on those goals.
It kind of goes against that whole hustle mentality that's everywhere these days.
But what if that mentality is what's actually holding us back? What if letting go of that need to control, surrendering, is what opens us up to even bigger possibilities? Tapping into a deeper level of creativity, intuition, flow.
Exactly. Like we're connecting to a source of wisdom that's beyond our own minds.
I like that.
So how do we translate all of this into, real strategies for building a successful coaching practice?
Right. How do we make it practical?
Well, one of the biggest hurdles for coaches is client acquisition.
Getting those clients in the door.
Exactly. It's easy to get caught up in all those marketing tactics and strategies, but sometimes it feels like, I don't know.
Like we're shouting into a void.
Yeah, like nothing's really working.
What is that?
It's interesting. Tolle wouldn't necessarily give us a step-by-step marketing plan.
No, probably not.
But he offers something much deeper. He suggests that by truly embodying presence, by being authentically ourselves, we'll naturally attract the right clients.
So it's less about chasing clients and more about attracting the ones who resonate with us.
Exactly. Like, imagine you're grounded in the present moment. You're coming from a place of being rather than doing. You radiate a certain quality.
People can sense that, right? They can feel it. It's like you become this beacon, drawing in the people who are ready for what you have to offer.
Your vibe attracts your tribe.
That's a good one. It's about attracting those ideal clients, the ones who are aligned with your values, your energy.
The ones who are a good fit.
Right. And that leads to stronger, more fulfilling coaching relationships. It's not about quantity, it's about quality.
Those deep, authentic connections, they're everything.
They are. And those connections, they play a huge role in how we communicate our value, too. Because how do we as coaches get our message across in a world that's so saturated with information,
Right. It's so noisy out there.
It is. There's so many quick fixes and promises being thrown around.
So many coaches I know are amazing at what they do.
Oh, yeah. They have so much to offer.
But they don't know how to talk about it in a way that resonates.
It's a common struggle. But this is where I think, again, Tolle's idea of surrendered action comes in.
Okay, I'm listening.
When you're aligned with your true self, when you're coming from that place of presence, your words just have more power.
It's not just what you say. It's how you say it.
Exactly.
Because when we're grounded in the now, our communication becomes more authentic.
More impactful.
More persuasive.
And it's not about trying to convince anyone of anything. It's simply sharing your truth.
Your wisdom, your energy.
And people are drawn to that. They can feel the difference.
It's like they can sense that you're speaking from your heart.
Speaking from your soul. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that I think is essential for any thriving coaching practice. Personal growth.
Oh, yeah. This is huge.
As coaches, we're on a constant journey of growth, aren't we?
Always learning, evolving.
Deepening our own awareness, expanding our consciousness, honing our skills.
It's easy to get caught thinking we have it all figured out, though. Especially when we're the ones guiding others.
It's true. But the best coaches, they're the ones who are committed to their own growth, who are always learning.
Tolle reminds us, that enlightenment isn't about reaching some perfect state. It's a process.
It's about letting go, surrendering to what is, embracing the journey.
And I think that's what makes coaching such a beautiful profession. It's a path of self-discovery, not just for our clients, but for ourselves.
We're all in this together, aren't we? Learning and growing.
And the more we grow, the more we can help our clients grow.
It creates this beautiful ripple effect.
Impacting not just ourselves, but the world around us.
It's true. And that brings us back to the idea of the end of the world.
The one that Tolle talks about.
Yeah. It's not about some catastrophic event, but about this shift in consciousness. As coaches, we're part of that shift.
We're helping people connect with their inner wisdom, create lives that are meaningful.
We're empowering people to create a more conscious, more compassionate world.
I love that. Now let's dive into something that might be a little more challenging. Tolle's concept of the pain body.
Ooh, yeah, that's a big one.
It can be a bit of a heavy topic,
Yeah.
but it's important for us as coaches to understand.
Especially if we want to support our clients in transforming their negativity.
Okay, break this down for me. What exactly is the pain body?
Well, imagine it's like this accumulation of negative emotions.
Old wounds, traumas,
Exactly. And all of that, it gets lodged in our bodies.
causing suffering.
Right. And this pain body can show up in all sorts of ways,
Anxiety, depression, anger.
Addictions, even physical pain.
So it's not just in our heads, it's affecting us physically.
And what's fascinating is Tolle suggests that this pain body, it's not just a personal thing. It's also collective. Like there's this shared pool of suffering, collective pain body of humanity.
Wow. It's like we're all swimming in this sea of pain.
That's a great way to put it. And for us as coaches, it's crucial to recognize that our clients are carrying all of this.
Not just their own personal baggage, but this weight of collective suffering.
Exactly. And that's why Tolle's teachings about presence and surrender are so important, I think. When we help our clients become more present, more connected to that stillness within, they can start to disentangle themselves from the pain body.
So it's about helping them create a space of refuge, a place where they can reconnect with their true selves.
Exactly. The part of them that's untouched by that pain.
And from that place, real healing and transformation can happen.
It can. Now, are you ready for another shift in gears?
Hit me.
Let's talk about something that a lot of people might find uncomfortable. Death.
Whoa. Okay. We're going there.
Yeah.
No.
It's not something most people like to think about, I know.
No. We tend to avoid it.
But Tolle has this really unique perspective on death I think can be incredibly empowering.
I'm intrigued. I gotta hear this.
He sees death not as an ending, but as a transition, a shift in consciousness.
Okay.
He's reminding us that we're not just our physical bodies, we're something much greater.
Something that exists beyond time and space.
Exactly. And he suggests that by becoming aware of our own mortality, really facing it, we can actually live more fully in the present moment.
It's like live each day as if it were your last.
Exactly. But not in a reckless way,
Right. Not about throwing caution to the wind.
It's about living with a sense of awareness, appreciating the preciousness of each moment.
Really savoring life.
Yeah, because we know it's a gift.
A temporary one.
And that awareness, that recognition of impermanence, that can be a powerful catalyst for waking up, for spiritual awakening.
I can see that. When we're faced with our own mortality, it forces us to get real about what matters.
To let go of the trivial thing.
To embrace the things that are truly essential.
And that's when we start to tap into something deeper, something beyond the fear of death.
Wow, this is making me rethink my whole perspective on things.
It's definitely thought-provoking.
It is. So how do you think all of this applies to us as coaches? How can we bring this awareness of death into our work?
Well, I think when we, as coaches, have a healthy relationship with our own mortality, we can approach our work with a deeper sense of purpose.
We're not just helping clients achieve goals, we're helping them live more meaningful lives.
Knowing that time is precious, we're guiding them toward a deeper understanding of themselves.
Helping them connect with that part of themselves that exists beyond the ego, beyond the fear of death.
And that's a powerful thing to offer, wouldn't you say?
It is. Empowering our clients to live more fully, right here, right now.
Now, before we move on, I want to leave you with a question to ponder. How can you, as a coach, embrace this reality of death?
Not with fear.
No, but with a sense of reverence, of acceptance.
And how can we help our clients do the same?
How can you help them connect with their own mortality in a way that empowers them to live more fully in the present moment?
That's a powerful question to reflect on, isn't it?
It is.
It's about embracing life, knowing that it's precious and finite.
And using that awareness to fuel our work as coaches, give it even more purpose.
Right. It's about helping our clients live fully, connecting with what truly matters.
Not just chasing those external goals, but really, connecting with their values, their aspirations.
Now, before we wrap up our exploration of the power of now, I do want to touch on one more topic that's often misunderstood: surrender.
Yeah, surrender. It can sound a bit passive, can't it?
It can, but Tolle presents it as a path to greater power, to freedom.
He does. It's about letting go of the need to control everything.
Trusting in something bigger than ourselves.
A higher intelligence, maybe.
Right. A universal flow that's guiding us towards our highest good.
It's about surrendering to what is.
To the present moment.
Accepting it instead of resisting or fighting against it.
And that surrender, it's not about giving up. It's not about becoming passive or resigned.
No, it's about becoming more alive, more engaged.
More in tune with the flow of life.
It is. It's about aligning ourselves with that natural rhythm of the universe.
Trusting that things are unfolding as they should.
And I think when we do that, when we surrender to that flow, we open ourselves up to a whole new level of creativity.
Intuition.
Inspiration.
Yeah, it's like we're tapping into this wellspring of wisdom that's beyond our own limited mind.
It is. And that shift, that shift in perspective, it can really impact us as coaches.
Absolutely.
Because when we surrender to the present moment, we create this space of trust, of openness for our clients.
You can listen more deeply.
Connect authentically.
Guide them with greater wisdom, with more compassion.
And we can also let go of our own agendas, can't we?
Our expectations.
Yeah. We can allow that coaching process to unfold more organically, like it's being guided by something bigger than us.
So it's not about forcing things.
No, it's about creating the space for transformation.
And sometimes the most profound transformations happen in those quiet moments. When we let go of control.
When we surrender.
This has been such a powerful journey into the power of now, wouldn't you say?
I think so.
I feel equipped with new tools. A whole new way of looking at my coaching practice.
It's been a pleasure diving deep into this with you, and I hope everyone listening has found this conversation as insightful as we have.
Absolutely. Now, before we say goodbye, I want to leave you with one final thought from Tolle. Something to carry with you on your coaching journey.
I'm all ears.
He writes, "Being must be felt. It can't be thought."
Powerful.
As you're integrating these ideas into your work, your life, remember to connect with that feeling of being. That deep inner knowing that resides within you.
That's where the real wisdom lies.
It really is. It's been an honor exploring this with you all.
Keep exploring, keep growing, and keep shining your light out there in the world.
Until next time.